folks, welcome back to the channel. We're going to tie something a little bit different today. This is the Inferno Samurai. So it's basically a temple dog that's all wing on a very short tube. This is probably just shy of 3/4 of an inch at this point. It'll obviously be cut down, and yeah, there's not really a body on this. So let's proceed. So coming in with some black Uni 80, and I'm going to start about this point here and just get some wraps down coming forward and bring our tag across just to lock it in, and that will certainly get us moving in the right direction. So first thing that I want to mention is make sure you've got wax on your thread all the time tying this sort of thing, because tubes can be a slippy business. Okay folks, what I'm going to come in with first is a sort of 50-50 mix of red and orange bucktail, just to give it almost a bit of a flamethrowery look to the start of the wing. So that'll probably do as far as where I want to catch this on. Just come around a couple of turns, make sure that this is sitting nice on top, come forward a little bit, then come in, sharp pair of scissors and cut that at an angle, give it that taper, and then just tidy up. Okay, good stuff. Next thing I'm going to come in with is, it's a black cock hackle. So catching it in by the tip, created a catch point, moved a few feathers out of the way, a few strands out of the way, folding this back, and then you can come in and cut away the tip. It's fine. I said wax on the thread throughout. I'm going to run the scissors up the side of this just to help, and then I'm going to use the stem side as a handle. You can use hackle pliers if you want, but when I'm certainly on something this big I don't think you'll need them. And then just getting a few turns, doesn't need to be enormous, in at this point, sweeping it back. And then just come in and find a catch point between the fibres. You can cut that away and tidy up. Okay, good stuff. So we're going to build this wing a little bit back to front and fold everything back eventually. So I'm going to use some Nyet initially. I don't want this to be huge because we're going to use some goat, I think, so probably want this at about that length there. So I'm going to chop this down a little bit off camera. And leave a little bit of a butt section just on this, because it will help lift the whole thing when you flip it over. So just coming around with a couple of turns, spreading it with my nail on the top. That's fine. And then what I'm going to come in with next is some orange temple dog, which is obviously a little bit of a shorter fibre. Same idea, just a couple of turns, just help it to sit on top. give it a bit of a spread. Okay. And then we have got some black rear. Which we can add on top also. 2 turns. A little bit of a spread. And then the last thing I'm going to add on at this stage is a little bit of a mix of brown and red Arctic fox. And again, just coming round a couple of turns. Just going to chop that down ever so slightly. And then if you're happy with how that's sitting, and I'm quite happy how that's sitting just now, you can get some super glue on the thread and come in with a couple of turns just to lock that in place. Then give it a couple of seconds to dry, and then you can start to do what you're going to do next. Okay, cool, good stuff. Right, now's the time to fold all of this back. Then we're going to come in with a couple of wraps in front, just to start build up in front of this. Now you don't want to be on the fibre, you just want to be in front of it. And it's definitely going to sit up and be crazy, but we'll manage that. We'll get involved. And one of the ways to do that is to get our pal the hairdryer in on this. So as you can see, giving it a bit of the hairdryer, it will start to sit how you want it to sit, which is always positive. Okay, next we're going to come in with some mirror flash. This is some red mirror flash. Just a couple of strands. What you want to do with this is just sit it on the top and come in a couple of turns, and then you can bring the tag end fibres down each side. You can cut any of the ones that are a bit excessive. Again, just continue to encourage this to sit back in between materials. Okay, good stuff. Right, next we're going to come in with the goat that was mentioned previously. So a reasonable pinch, but you don't need to go over the top. And as always, just comb out any underfur from any of the materials you're using, because it will help you along the way. And this goat will also help this wing sit down because it's a heavier fibre. And we'll just go on that bit longer here. So coming up, getting a turn in. And come in with a couple of more turns when you're happy with that. Just make sure it's sitting nice and on top. Then you can cut away when you're happy with this. Just cut at an angle, bit of taper. Wax on the thread, and then tidy this up. So that's already starting to sit a little bit more like how I'd want it to sit, which is good. Okay, next we're going to come in with some peacock herald and just try and give us a little bit of a curve between your thumb and forefinger. Just run it over. Not going excessive here, just a couple of strands, I think about 4. Again, just sitting them on the top. And then come in and chop those away. Okay, good stuff. Certainly got the right shape, big nice teardrop to it. Alright, and then we're going to start to taper back in a little bit at this point. So we're going to bring in some black temple dog. Again, not a huge amount. But a reasonable pinch. And again, comb out your underfur. So I want this probably about there. As I said, continue to just encourage this to sit back. I'm just going to tidy up some of these ends. Okay, now we're going to put on some jungle cock at this point. Just catching this on the sides. This is a dyed yellow jungle cock. Natural work, in fact any colour you fancy probably works, so have at it. I'm just going to put a dab of super glue on at this point. And just wind over that to secure everything in. Okay, good stuff. The last thing we're going to put on, we're returning to the black cock hackle that we started with, just to finish off this front piece. So same again, catching it on by the tip, bringing it nice and flush up against where you finished with the jungle cock. Take away the tip. Got my aeroplane sounds going again, always good. and then you can bring your thread forward. As I did before, running the scissors down the side. You want these to be nice locked in turns, one in front of the other. Just continue to sweep everything back the way. Then when you're happy with what you've got, find a point where you can bring the thread up and through and catch this. Sweep everything back, just tidy up and tie this in, and you can cut away this stem. Be careful with your thread. Then when you're happy with that, you can come in and whip finish. Then the last thing to do is add some super glue to the front and add on whatever you're going to put on the front. I'm going to put on a black turbo disc. Nice and tight up against the thread. And you can release the fly from the holder carefully, and then you want to cut that front piece down to about 2mm and then melt it into place. So there you have it, folks, the Inferno Samurai. Really interesting fly to tie, really interesting style. Give it a go. These things are lethal when the salmon are on them. I'm certainly going to be giving this a go at some point. As always, hit the bell, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, cheers.